close this out in a maximum of 3 games, and then, like you said, be the only person that's at World Finals so far that was able to do it on his own.
Zap log to open things up.
How did you keep it together, man? I was screaming.
That's, you know, all you can do, really, is just try to stay focused and keep talking. But I had the benefit of being on
Ice Spirit not be evo'd here. You'd think it'd be Ice Spirit Evo with Skelly's Evo with Royal Hogs, but maybe it's just going to be the Evo Tesla instead.
Very curious to see if that's the case. Delivery doesn't land on top of him. Still brings them all in together.
And if I'm Mohamed, I'm hoping that I have the Evo Tesla instead of the Evo Ice Spirit, and there it is. That's going to do well here in the skies. And you know what? Maybe this is the idea of, all right, people have been talking, the casters have been talking, everyone's seen this deck that I've been running that can't be beaten. Everyone's saying Lava Hound is the way to beat it. So what does Lucas do? He runs Lava Hound. Mo changes things up. I don't know if it's quite as binary as that, but at least if you're looking on paper, it might feel that way.
Well, it works out nicely for Lucas in the opening exchange of damage. 1474 on the right-hand tower. Lucas undefeated today, has not dropped a game, and off to a good start here in the grand final.
Yeah, and him doing it over Arden and Sub and Morton is just so incredibly impressive.
Queen, Delivery, Ice Spirit, Evo Tesla to try to deal with this aerial pressure. And early protection against the Void spell.
Nice timing there by Lucas, just kind of waiting, and then he waits to, waiting to play that Void, but Mo Light knows that that's basically the final moment that you can play that Void and still have any effect, so he drops some protection around it. Really good job there defending. 1593, 1474, as this Valkyrie will get kited all the way around the map, and she won't be doing a whole lot.
Do we anticipate like a Zap Void here? Clear the Skellies, hit the Queen.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely the way to go, is you want to try to use your Evo in conjunction, and there you go, Rich. Perfect call there. Zap, Evo Zap plus the Void spell, but I think Mo's ready for it, right? He gets the double Tesla down. He gets the Evo out to pull the balloon in. Evo ability goes off. Second Tesla focused on the balloon. Really nicely played there. And now just a second late here on the delivery because he wants to catch actually the Skeleton Dragons instead of just the Lava Pups. So nice sequencing by Mo, but that's a lot of damage, and that Lava Hound is still relatively healthy. AQ goes down.
And then a Zap on the Tesla. Pups trying to help, they can't. 572 to 795, just outside of Death Bomb range.
And Mo, I don't think, can attack right. Oh, no, never mind. It's not Evo Valkyrie. Okay, so Mo just kind of holding, pausing.
And you know that Lucas wants to get back to that Evo Valk.
And now that the Archer Queen is 3 cards away or 4 cards away, you wonder how Lucas is going to attack. And I really love the patience here we're seeing from Lucas. Gets out that second Tesla now. Evo Tesla off the board and sets up a Lava in the back. Now he's back to Evo Valkyrie. This is really, really nicely played by Lucas.
And goes with the Zap. Not playing the Void yet. Does drop it late.
It's an interesting Evo Skeletons off to the left-hand side.
Man, maybe trying to kite the Skeleton Dragons away. Doesn't get it done, though.
And second Loon in. Should be able to get back now to the Void. Evo Zap comes down. There's the Void. And Skeletons do protect. AQ stays alive. This is an incredible chess match right now.
This is so tense. Absolutely tense. EQ in finally. 33 seconds left. Lucas has to be aware of that problem. He's suddenly behind because he's not been able to get any extra damage onto that Princess Tower for a while now.
Yeah, and I think there it is. He's forced to use the Evo Valk to create some space because he knows that Mohamed Light has recognized where those piggies are, where they are in the cycle, and the only way that Lucas can get damage is by getting a balloon through, getting a Lava Hound through. Mo doesn't need the damage anymore, and that was just absolutely incredible from top to bottom from both of these players. Mohamed Light did not use his win condition for 2 minutes because he knew that mental game of the Evo Valkyrie was going to be played until he could watch that game reset, a grand finals reset. We'll go to match 15, and if Lucas wins, we'll be going to game number 3.
Yay.
So, early look at the Evos for Mohamed Light. Lucas maybe showing bait, and he is.
He goes, that worked pretty well for Morton for most of the game.
Bullseye.
For most of the game. It's just so interesting how Evos really have done this this amazing thing. And, you know, is everything that gets new into a game absolutely perfect? No, absolutely not. But Evos have done a great job of resurrecting cards, of giving cards new life, and without having to think about other aspects of balance necessarily, right? One of the hard parts about balancing Goblin Barrel is you're not just balancing Goblin Barrel, but in a lot of ways, unless you're talking about deploy time or things like that, when you balance Goblin, if you change the Goblins, you're changing Stab Gobs, you're changing Goblin Gang, you're changing so many other cards. Whereas this Evo has suddenly changed things where, hey, you're just adding a little something new.
Yeah, I think the evolution's really, you know, like you said, it's impossible to, I think, release it into the wild and it just be perfectly balanced when it starts. And a big part of that is how brilliant our analysts and coaches and players are, right? They see something and they go, wow, this is a glaring oversight now that this change has happened, whether it's champions, evolutions, balance, what have you. And yeah, I really do think Evos in general are very close to the best they've ever been, if not the best they've been. Also, yeah, what is Mohamed Light playing? I agree, whoever that is in chat. I mean, we've seen him do this numerous times where it's like, okay, that card hasn't been played at all in competitive, like Electro Dragon. And this is a beautiful Evo Bomber. My goodness. The value, the damage.
And then look at this, the guards to protect that Dart Goblin was like a lemming. It just walked directly into its own death.
Gets the King Tower activation, does Lucas, but at what cost, as we see here? Stacking up a ton of damage, though, against Momo. Evo Bats just not quite doing it for him. 960 remains, about 1,000 HP behind.
Evo Goblin Barrel is wild, though. I will say that. It is wild when you split both sides. You're like, what am I supposed to do about that?
Yeah, it's something that you can really get punished by earlier in the game, right? If you find yourself overspending or without a response, you're just in a lot of trouble. I mean, right now we're going to see Mo take three more stabs there, down to 720.
And Lucas going to go ahead and eat that Evo Drag, or the Electro Dragon. And we haven't seen Princess at the Bridge yet. That's a nice connection for one.
Yep, that's huge. And the protection there on the Dark Goblin. Now all of a sudden this pressure can get turned way up.
And maybe going long here with the barrel. Yep.
Yeah. Good pressure on the right-hand side, though. That's not going to kill those stabs. That's game.
Wow. Game 3 on its way. Let's go.
Let's do it, man. Incredible stuff there. And this is actually really fascinating because, you know, you look at
2019 who
the monthly finals from Mohamed Light, and already we're seeing Momo go back to what was working really well, although he does not have Monk. And there's a Monk out from Lucas with a Fish Boy, so we could be seeing Royal Giant Monk. And, you know, if I called it, I'm a little worried that maybe Mo's analyst did as well.
And Mohamed Light might be running Mega Knight here. Ooh, and that Wizard just walks away from the Ghost. Wow.
Yeah, that's a shame there. That's a type of mistake you really don't want to make.
Does get a couple of Wizard shots onto that little Prince, but still Lucas has to do a bit more. And wow, a curse.
And it doesn't do anything.
Oh my word.
Ugh. That is, I mean, this has been a pretty ugly start for Lucas. I really don't know how I feel about the curse coming through.
Well, you see what he was trying to do there and just didn't do it. Ram Rider will connect and get him back in the conversation a little bit, but man, that curse could have turned the little Prince and then distracted the Guardian and been fine, but just doesn't do quite enough damage to make that happen.
1182, 2254. Mohamed Light looking to push this to a grand finals reset. Lucas looking to close things out with Goblin Curse, which I believe has a 0% win rate on the day. Wizard does connect though, and narrowing that gap just a little bit more is the Brazilian.
And Lucas has to eat some shots there as well, but gonna have to spend some HP on that left-hand tower to get some of these interactions right.
Isn't there a King Tower activation with that Royal Ghost Fisherman there? I wonder if that was a missed opportunity or I don't know.
And this time the curse will actually turn in some goblins. You know, I'm very curious what he thought he was going to be facing. Skeletons are out. Bats are out. What are you trying to curse here if you're Lucas?
Oh, those Evo those Evo Skellies, the curse comes out. Okay, 937. I feel like right now this deck is just not working the way that Lucas wants it to.
And an Inferno Tower. So Mohamed Light with a lot of stuff going right for him.
That P.E.K.K.A. range, though, takes care of the little prince. Now the Wizard's able to snipe off that tower. Second Inferno comes down, and a Ram Rider behind. Double connection on the right side. Yeah. He's just looking to tower trade, but I don't think he has enough time.
No, and I think Mohamed Light knows that it's GG there. Yep, he has the poison.
Wow.
And here comes the bracket reset, folks. Run it back. Best of 3 to see if anybody can stop Mohamed Light from the reign of terror.
My month, the next final, so much to be said, and only one opportunity to claim it on your own. Everything else comes into things falling into place, right? With the leaderboard points, you have to hope maybe you do good and someone else does bad, whereas the monthly finals, you just can take it and go to golden final, or do that golden ticket and go to world finals. So yeah, here we go.
And Fish slaps that fisherman off the, that miner off the tower. I think the fish is still objectively the funniest attack or weapon in the game.
And the fact that it like slows you, there's something that's kind of wrong about it, but I like it.
Monk to protect and pull stuff to the back end. And we just have a reflect off in the middle of Lucas's side of the board.
And interesting right now, Mohamed Light just showing one evolution.
RG in, Log plus Ice Spirit to try to hold. Skellies come in behind on the guards. Evo RG, the Zap is the second evolution, but a nice Log plus Evo RG ability takes the guards out, and that's a ton of damage to give Lucas the lead by almost 1,000 HP.
Yeah, that was absolutely huge. And again, we find Mohamed Light using like a double small spell situation or not having a huge spell. That's not really anything to do with what just happened. Just kind of an observation is the way that he's been constructing his decks throughout the day.
First 2 minutes ticking away. Double elixir. Gonna start flowing here in just a moment.
And I know Juice is here on cast. Now that we've seen all 16 cards showing, Juicy, how you feeling about this matchup with Lucas already out to a big lead?
It's a good question. If it was evened up, I'd probably give it to Mo just because of how strong this defense can be. But, you know, we've talked about it a lot today. The only counter guards in the game that is left is Log, but then Lucas also has the Electric Spear to pair with that.
Yep.
And the fact that he's got a big spell and Mo doesn't makes me definitely think that Lucas is in a huge driver's seat here. It would take a big mistake for Lucas to choke this one.
And a nice Evo Zap to maintain position on the right-hand side. Monk has to come out to prevent even more damage coming in. Mohamed Light loading up on the Phoenix, the Phoenixes. Phoenix Eye? I know it's Phoenixes, but it feels like it should be some other conjugation.
Phoenix Eye, yeah. And nice damage from Mo in both lanes. Lucas does get a King Tower activation there, but at what cost? 1,600 now to 1,427. Now both weaker towers in the same left-hand side as a lightning comes down, and we'll see if Mo's just going to put the pedal to the metal here.
Phoenix Eye? Not sure. I don't have it. But Lucas
That's
Might
going to get
not
the
have
Monk
it
on
here
tower.
either. Oh my word. Oh my word. The
Oh
Monk
my
actually
gosh.
does that? The Monk actually does that.
What?
No way.
No way, dude. This is insane.
I said that it would take a big mistake. I think there was a few, but most important.
Here we go. Deck's finally set. Game number 2. Mohamed Light with a chance to make it 4 for 4.
Mo Light with a snowball and some skeletons so far. Maybe some sort of balloon cycle deck, or maybe just replacing the log with the snowball in a regular deck, like maybe a Hog Rider, or we saw him play bait snowball earlier as well. Interesting to see both players just kind of leaking elixir and waiting to double time though.
Our first heal
especially
spirit for the day, I think, too.
Yeah, he'll spirit out. I mean, we see that with 3M. We see it with Ram Rider. Can't imagine he's running Elixir Golem.
I mean, I've seen people are running some Elixir Golem right now. I don't think that's what he's doing here, but people have been running it. Popped up on
Yeah,
Royale
looks like
API the other day.
Graveyard.
Yeah, I think you're right, Andrew. I think this is Graveyard in the bottom here from Mohamed Light. Maybe. Here comes the giant skeleton as well. Lucas, on the other hand, I mean, I think he's using a giant Heal Spirit mini P.E.K.K.A cycle deck. How the matchups would go against each other, I'm not exactly sure, but it seems like Lucas might have a slight edge here, just having the arrows from the archers. And mini P.E.K.K.A obviously one of the best counters to Giant Skelly as well.
And Goblin Giant in its evolved form. We're not evolved form yet, but Evo slot for Goblin Giant.
And even in the clan chat, of course, Luke is talking a little bit of trash to Momo. I love to see it. I'm so excited to see both of them at World Finals. And, you know, this is the 3rd time today, or 4th time, maybe 5th time even now, that I keep thinking about Mo just playing a deck that I have not seen anyone else run, period. There was the E-Dragon deck. There's obviously the Monk Wallbreakers deck. Here's this Graveyard deck. He's just doing it with everything.
And of course, we're up against Goblin Giant Sparky. And if you're going to pick something that Mo's had trouble with, quite famously, our World Finals, the Goblin Giant meta did not treat him kindly. So why not get wild with it here if you're Lucas?
And wow, I mean, this is definitely getting wild with it. That Sparky is completely uncontested, as is the mini P.E.K.K.A. Archers come down just in time.
That zap was so perfect, I have to say. The zap stunning the Evo Archers to retarget the Evo Archers away from the Sparky. I thought there was a chance that maybe that Sparky just doesn't hit tower because of the Evo Archers DPS, and that's over.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Lucas laughing here, too. Lucas is like, yo, are you serious that just did a thing? Did I really just do that?
That's what I needed to do?
Can some fans who watch the show, can any stop Mohamed Light? So I know there's a lot of people watching right now hoping that this goes for Lucas. I know one person in particular, though, who has a lot to say about that. And Lucas, the longtime Hog player, goes Hog in his biggest moment.
Does he have Valk? That's the question. Got guards, it's at least a good start. And yeah, this is what I was saying. Like, I want to see Lucas just say, screw it, let me play with what I want to play with. And we see Hog coming out here in the final game of the day.
Excuse me, don't you know?
Separating the drill, or the bomber and the little prince. That's a lot he's trying to put down the lane on the left-hand side here.
Yeah, quite a bit of a pile up there, and honestly kind of a surprising one. I mean, it doesn't really end up mattering too much in terms of like the elixir situation. And Lucas, I don't think, is going to try to sneak in a Hog here on the left side. He goes right instead, and yeah, just a nice aggressive, calculated push from Mohamed Light.
Lucas not wanting to give up the easy early King Tower activation. He knows that the King Tower is going to get activated against this deck at some point with that Firecracker. But he doesn't want to just give it away for free so he can get a couple extra Hog hits potentially out of this, especially if he can outcycle that Inferno Tower.
Definitely. I mean, make your opponent work for every inch, right? But how to get to the Inferno Tower?
First 2 minutes of gameplay about to pass. Double elixir coming.
Ooh,
So far,
I like
and that's
that.
that's a very nice Evo Firecracker connection plus a Hog connection. Great exchange for Lucas.
Yeah, Mo was even looking for the Firecracker. He just, I think, guessed in the wrong spot. Lucas plays it over the middle in the center, and it doesn't actually target that Evo Knight. Gets damage on tower, and a great exchange, as you said, up by 800, or 600, excuse me.
Lucas is actually in a pretty favorable situation here for a couple reasons. Number one, Mohamed Light is using Barbarian Barrel instead of Log or Snowball to be able to knock those Hog Riders back. As you've seen already, the Hog Riders sneaking through those Goblins to get a couple of hits, whereas normally it wouldn't be, as well as the Inferno Tower is just really expensive to be able to counter the Hog every time.
And also, you know, go back to what we were talking about before. That's a really nice bomber hit. Gets the Firecracker, gets tower on damage, and that is a devastating blow for Lucas defensively.
22, 28, 20, 40. Lucas goes to Hog one more time. The EQ coming in on the later side of things. Wants to try to sneak through one shot, and he does.
And he baits out the bomber. Mo really unhappy about that bomber, knowing he's getting in his own head. That is a free bomber and a free Firecracker down for Lucas.
And now pressure time for Lucas.
If Lucas plays the game that he's won tens of thousands of times and just stays calm and keeps playing these great high Teslas, keeps getting on top of those little princes, having the guards ready to go for either the barrel or the Evo Knight. I mean, he's won this game before. He just needs to do what he knows how to do.
Here comes Bomber behind this, I think. Or isn't that Knight trying to lock that in? Decides to switch the lane. EQ continuing to stack up damage.
Yeah, and he's happy with that time and time again. Now just got to find a different way to defend. Gets the drill out, Firecracker up high. He is making Mo spend all of his elixir defensively.
Mo might be back to another drill here fairly soon. Little Prince staying on the board for quite a long time, and there you go. Drill back in. Poison plus Barb Barrel. Opposing poison now for the Firecracker, and Mohamed Light starting to creep back in. Gonna get this left-hand tower down to just under 1700 HP, chasing that 1236 on his right-hand tower.
Both of these guys doing such a good job of keeping track of their opponent's evolution. Mo Light protects his bomber. Bomber gets on top of the tower.
And just barely rescues his own tower from the Mighty Miner. Firecracker connects. Hog Rider in. EQ trying to make room for the Hog Rider. Firecracker still alive. Hog doesn't get a shot. 796, 973. Mohamed Light wants to get one more drill down. Not going to be able to poison here. Oh, he can't do it.
Lucas did it. Lucas did it.
Oh, my word.
Lucas is the July monthly finals champion, the only person to beat Mo all 2024, and he knows it. Feeling himself, you love to see it.